So yeah, this is a open seat. We have about, I believe, 38 runners in the race tonight, so lot of competition, and we are already off. So, map in the sanctuary chest, which is generally not what you want to see, and some rupees in Link's house.
Eddie, I'm already making an interesting play here.
A really quick sudden map check from Hitzian. Now I saw crystals at Tower of Hera and Eastern Palace, and I didn't quite catch Desert Palace. Oh, here's another map check. We've got another regular crystal at Desert Palace.
So you see two of our runners started at Sanctuary and are headed up to Lost Woods. One is going west to get the free bombs from the bushes, while Edium buys bombs in the Lake Ilea shop and is going to go to Hospital Set. So already a huge deviation.
Alright, beneath the lumberjack tree we have just 5 rupees, so nobody's going to be killing Aga for 5 rupees. Big Master's checking out the racing game. There's a mushroom there. You'll probably go and grab that.
It's Hospital will let us know that Palace of Darkness is a green pendant.
And in the back of his hut, he's hiding a lot of blue items. There was a cane of boner and the ice rod there for Edium.
Yeah, it could definitely be a difference maker depending on like where this bow is, because skipping Sahasrahla until you have the bow is a very common play. And Edium's actually going to go the whole way and go into Eastern as well. This is more unusual than just going to Sahasrahla.
It's not a totally bad play because Eastern Palace is essentially Sphere 1. You can access it at any time without any items. So the only thing that's restricted to you is Armos Knights without the bow. And if you have the lamp, you don't have logical access to the big key chest, but you can still get to it because there's some of the easiest dark rooms in the game to get through. So, and things like the hammer or something can pop up here. And if you put it off for forever until you get like the bow or whatever, it can really delay your game.
Yeah, I think Edium going to Eastern Palace this early is much more of a metagaming play than anything else. Because, like, you know, the bow just might be in Kakariko well, and then, oh no, now Edium has to double dip the whole dungeon.
Absolutely. This is definitely a gamble, but he's definitely hoping for that's a gamble to pay off and give him an early advantage here. Well, there's a hammer. It's lurking in the bottom of Blind's hut. So, a nice early hammer today in the race, so not going to be having to search for it everywhere.
Thank God. So Big Master is going to open this bomb shack down here and turn his one bomb into more bombs. This is like one of the slower ways to get bombs, but it is one of the guaranteed ways to get bombs.
Yep, 4 pots for 1 bomb underneath each one. And I never knew about this hut as a kid because the hut doesn't exactly have any cracks on the door or anything that would indicate you can bomb your way inside, but you can. Oh, and there's a moon pole in the bottom of the well for Fear Agent and Hitzian.
And Edium finds the Canis Samaria in Eastern Palace. Not like the greatest thing he could have found here, but you know, progression is progression is progression.
Nice selection of canes, yeah. And there's also an Evo medallion in the well too. Board offender is just a 20% refund. Big Master coming into Kakariko from the other direction gets to that piece of art just a bit before Fear Agent and hits you. Back of the bar are some bombs. So yeah, that hammer is a great find in Kakariko, but not too much that helps our runners immediately. Like, the hammer will give you access to the rock just above Kakariko, but you can't actually lift up the rock or do anything in Dark World if you could lift up the rock. So it's like mid-game progression. It doesn't really get you anywhere just yet. But it's also offensive power. It gets you temperature order damage really early on. You just have to cope with a smaller hitbox.
Yeah, and so far this spells good news for Etienne that nobody's found the bow. Like his big fear right now is that everyone else is going to single dip this dungeon, where he's going to have to double dip it. And unfortunately, Ezio didn't have enough hearts to do the damage boost strat here to get to this vanilla big key chest. So he's resetting the room over and over again to replenish the pots so he can kill all the enemies on the screen.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to use a bomb to kill his Stealth Sub, but ended up bombing himself.
Yes, it's very dangerous. He has no hearts left. Oh. I cannot imagine him going back to that room right now, though. I think he's just going to leave it behind.
Yeah, save and crit, and he's out. That is an unfortunate expenditure of his time there.
He did get the Cane of Samaria and the Ice Rod from Sahasra side, so, you know, not the worst thing that could have happened.
Yeah, but with an Ice Rod that early, and the fact we don't know all the pendants yet, you know that Turtle Rock is guaranteed to be a pendant. It's like so guaranteed. It's about 150% chance to be a. It's about 150% chance to be a pendant at this point. It's more than guaranteed. Just know it's going to happen.
So you might have seen Fair Agent there doing a fake flipper setup to get over to the potion shop really, really quickly. This is the fastest way to get to the potion shop. Meanwhile, Hitzian finds a sword in the dam. Edium wishes he had that.
Getting a super early look at this mushroom. And it's just $20. And Fear Agent actually hard resets his game in there to save his mushroom. And this is actually quite good for Fear Agent. We know the Cane of Samaria is available early on. So with that cane, the mushroom, and the hammer, we can actually do something called a fake powder trick to check the magic bat. So once he does his Kakuku clear, he can actually go check out that magic bat if he so chooses.
Yeah, unfortunately, with no Dark World access progression being locked over that area, it's unlikely that Fear Agent's going to make his way into Eastern anytime soon. Unless he finds, like, the bow in front of Escape. I just don't see him going over there quite yet.
Hello, we have got a hookshot in the back of Mini Moldom Cave from Hitzian.
That's a nice item.
It kind of looks like the standard route of going Kakariko, then going South Hyrule and Lake Hylia. It's turning out to be the actual best play here.
Yeah, I think it's an important note that in early game routing, like, lots of these locations, everyone's going to do. It doesn't matter what order they do them, and they're all going to do Kakariko, they're all going to do South Shore. But some of the other locations, people might put off for a while, like going to Sahasrara and Eastern. Maybe Front of Escape could be put off for a lot of runners. It all depends on, like, where this progression is.
I'm actually surprised that nobody's gambled over and gone to Agina yet. I've seen that a lot more happen a lot more often in recent races. People just going straight to Agina before anything else. Oh, hey, there's a Power Glove in the back of the Icefall Cave for Hitzian.
And that is Dark World access for Hitzian.
Indeed. So Dark World access less than 9 minutes in. That is impressively fast.
And there's progression in the Front of Escape as well. Fear Agent finding a Fire Rod in the map chest. Oh, hey, Mothulus logic. Fun!
Yeah, Fire Rod, it is actually possible to have a seed where Fire Rod isn't required to complete it. The only time I've seen it, Fire Rod just popped up instantly in Gannis Tower before the big key, so you still got it. But if you end up with like Skullwoods and Turtle Rock as pendants, or Turtle Rock as a crystal, but you're able to get to all the way to Trinex without going on the right side, you can actually skip the Fire Rod. Now, what skull would be a pendant to, actually, for that matter?
Yeah, Fire Rod not being required logically for a seed is very possible, but it's also very rare because more than just Skullwoods and Trinex, there's also just, it might lock the lamp as a fire source, and then the big key might be on the Encompass room and Gannis Tower. There's so many things that require the Fire Rod, you almost always end up finding it and almost always end up needing it. But I live for those seeds, though. where you don't need stuff like that.
Hitchian continuing his fake flipper adventures, checking out the waterfall cave thanks to that moon pearl. Funny quirk about checking the waterfall cave is that without the moon pearl, if you do a fake flipper, you can't actually reset your status. It's something to do with the way the items, the identity of your items occupy your inventory. It makes the game think you have the flippers when you don't have the flippers. You can still fake flipper without them, but you can't get into the cave unless you have the moon pearl.
And Hitzian not going to be punished for this play. There is nothing on Zora's ledge. It's a little unusual that he's doing the fake flipper, though, I think, since he just got Dark World access.
Alright, King, so what have you got? You've got a Master Sword. Wow, that's it. That's actually a really good fight.
Yeah, that's fantastic play from Hitzian, getting that Master Sword earlier than normal.
And hey, we see Idiom on his way to do fake powder. Idiom getting a bit tricky with this quirk here. He is going to get cursed with for his troubles. A Quake Medallion.
Okay. Yeah, so Idiom really wants that Canis Amaya to turn into like early progression, because he knows that most runners are not going to be going into Eastern Palace early this seed. Quake Medallion might end up being required.
And Hitchian's Dark World check there was proving me a liar. Taldavok is a crystal, Skullwoods is a crystal. And I believe Misery Maya and Swamp Palace were 5-6 crystals, with Ice Palace and I think it was Thief Town being pendants. Not sure about that last pendant though. Hey, a mirror in Hype Cave. And the shop. Wait, what is this Hype Cave? I haven't seen a Hype Cave this hype in a long time. Mirror and boots.
Boots are nice. Fear Agent picking up his gloves. That is his Dark World access as well. And he's walking out. I think he might do the fake flipper as well.
Yeah, basically loaded down with tons of early game items here. So there's quite a lot available to runners at the moment. They don't have the lamp, but they can still go up to Death Mountain if they wish to clear out Death Mountain, go to Tower of Hero, finish that if they so choose. Potentially even get into Turtle Rock. In fact, they could actually, if any of our runners were non-Idiom runners got themselves the Cane of Smite, they could actually do Turtle Rock right now. Both the Firewood and the Icewood are available.
With all those items being available so early, I think it's very, very likely that there is progression in or behind Turtle Rock.
But I want to try next.
Yeah, something like that. Forcing the double dip of Eastern. But like I was saying before, many of our runners already have Dark World access. They don't have that bow. There's little reason for them to want to go to Eastern right now.
At the same time, if they want to do a clear out of Palace of Darkness for the Wealth of Items you can get in there, getting into Eastern Palace at the same time is going to be really easy thanks to that mirror in Hype Cave. So it will actually be interesting to see which dungeons runners decide to dip into first. There's quite a lot available to it right now. Idiom is using that mirror to immediately go get his powder in the library. He doesn't actually need the powder because he can do fake powder when he gets that cane, but that cane's over in Eastern Palace, and final just use regular powder.
Big Master, unfortunately, having to death warp out of Hyrule Castle here, but he had killed the guard that made that easy.
Yeah, he got surprisingly far back from cell to cell before deciding to kill himself. It's
Well, he'd killed all the guards on the way.
yeah, Speedmaster. You're supposed to kill yourself, not kill the guards.
I'm not sure what he's looking for. I guess some magic drops.
Interesting, actually. He does have like one firework shot available to him, so if he can't find his way through the dark escape, he can light up the torches once to find his way through. But he's got quite a bit of health, and he has got a sword and a hammer and a hook shot, so he should be able to make his way through regardless. We actually haven't seen the back of escape yet, I believe, nor the dark cross chest. There's been a lot that's happened so far in those 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a little unusual that people haven't gone to back of escape yet. That's typically a play you make like as soon as you have the gloves, because there's nothing you can pair it with.
So B Agent is on his way to Shahsrara.
I doubt he's going into Eastern though, right? Yeah, he's leaving. Okay. So he checks the hospitalist hut because he knows that it's a common play for people to go there early, and he doesn't want to get left behind if there's like boots in there or something. But he does skip out on doing Eastern because he really, really, really wants to get that bow first. And with having Darkhold Axles already, there's just so much available. Like, why would you go to Eastern yet?
Yeah, honestly, with the items so far, it really is going to be a seed of hunt the bow. We are going to need flippers too, because Swamp Palace is a red crystal.
Alright, Hitzian will be our first runner to enter a dungeon that can actually be completed. He does have the hammer and a weapon to kill blind, so he'll be able to finish Thieves Stone fully.
It is a pendant, but pendant Thieves Stone is barely different from crystal Thieves Stone. Hey, look, there's the flippers. There you go.
Finding progression in the first four, I think, is really going to drive Hitzian out of this dungeon. He's probably only going to do first four and leave.
At the same time, if he wants to commit to a clear, he does have a hammer, so he's not going to have to leave behind any chests. And he is staying inside.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, Pendant Thieves does have a bit of a reputation for nearly always being required, and in this case it is required, though you only need to dip into a little bit of it for the flippers so far, but you know, more could pop up. Fear Agent, meanwhile, is checking out the pyramid.
It just strikes me as such an unusual play from Hitzian to stay here in Thieves Town after getting those flippers, but there absolutely could just be more progression in here.
There's a flute for Fear Agent.
I suppose not having the fire on for Skullwoods yet would make him think he wants to find more stuff. But the flippers give him full access to Swamp Palace.
So right now, that Cane of Samaya in Eastern Palace is essentially blocking off Tararok and Mizumai. We might have medallions to get into both of those dungeons, and if we do, those dungeons are fully completable right now. But that's going to require, at least in Fear Agent's case, for him to get into Eastern Palace, and that could be significantly delayed if the bow's in a nasty location. Like, say, Chinex. So he is checking out Catfish for now, and he gets 10 arrows, leaving those behind. He's already gone to Saw and gotten his Master Sword, so he's not moving out. In fact, I think he's going to go for the pod now.
Oh, you think Fear Agent's going to go to pod?
Yeah. Like, his decision there, like, he could have mirrored and checked Saw if he hadn't already done so,
No, I
but he
think
didn't.
he's gonna hookshot across.
Yeah, he has got his hook shot out.
I mean,
So
pod's
this is
definitely a possibility, though, like, that he could have taken. But I think with no bow and no bottle to, like, sequence break the Bollock side, it's a pretty big gamble to go in there.
very true. Nobody can actually do the bottle glitch to check the right side of Passive Darkness if they wanted to. But hey, hookshot and mirror, that makes for a quite convenient check of Graveyard Ledge here.
Yeah, this is a really nice routing from Fury Agent.
Big chest of Beast Town is a small shield for Hitzian. I don't know if there's another item on blind. I haven't seen if Hitzian has picked up both the map and compass, but he's going for the clear. And blind is a green pendant, so green pendant itself could have an item.
No, green pendant's pot.
Oh yeah. Green pendant is pod.
I mean, even if blind doesn't have an item here, though, it makes sense to kill him because, like, if you end up needing pedestal, you have to come so far deep into the dungeon just to kill blind again. Might as well finish it now, just in case.
I guess, yeah. Pedestal is looking very unlikely at this point. There's an absolute ton of...
Blind
Yeah, there's an absolute ton of places where runners can check, and the likelihood of the pedestal having, say, the bow or a required medallion is very, very small at this point. But yeah,
with pod being a pendant, the bow's not even an option. I think it is just a medallion that could be on ped. Maybe... No, we know where the flute is. Yeah, just a medallion.
And that can only be Bombos, because we've already seen 2 medallions.
Yeah, Ped's almost dead. It's basically dead. There's Fear Agent being our first runner in the back of Escape. I believe this is nothing, though, in Dark Cross.
No, there's nothing in Dark Cross for Big Master. So Fear Agent's going to go through from the back direction. He's actually depleting his magic. I reckon Fear Agent's probably... did he already do the fake powder, or was that somebody else?
That was Edian.
Right, yeah. Because that's if he's depleting his magic here, when he has access to swords and hookshots and things that could kill rats and snakes, then he's probably thinking of doing fake powder right after this.
I think maybe he just missed with the fire rod a couple times.
That's a possibility too.
Hitzian tries to avoid his mirror portal, but ends up going into it.
I think he wants. I think he wants to. I think
he
he
like
wants to. He wants to do a bonk onto it, but instead bonked over it. I don't know. Padding the bonk stats, maybe.
You're right. So Fear Agent's walking out of back of Sanctuary. He already has the item up here, but he wants to stay here in the Dark World. Because Skull Woods is very close to his next play. Oh, he left the portal behind. Okay. Oh, no, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, Big Master finally going to go get his gloves from Icefall Cave. It's not unreasonable to pull off Icefall Cave for quite a bit. A lot of runners like to just go to Mini Hold'em because there's 5% and pull off Ice Rods unless they already have boots or something. Or they potentially find the flute and get that. But the flute is on the pyramid, and Big Master cannot actually get the flute until he goes to Icefall Cave to get his gloves.
Yeah, when we're talking about like items per minute, Ice Rod Cave is a pretty bad one. It's a long walk over there just for one item, so it's a pretty common play to try and skip it. And he does get punished having to double dip the South Shore again to get the glove, but it did draw him into Eastern where he found the Cane of Samaria.
The agent giving us a first look inside Skull Woods. It is a crystal, so he's probably going to be finishing it off whilst he's here. Fortunately, he doesn't have the Cane of Samaya like two of our races, so he's going to have to go for the statue pool here. It's not terribly difficult, but it spends a bit of time, and if you do happen to get trolled a bit by the Gyptos in that room, it gets quite annoying to do. Oh, hey, but he does get a blue potion for his troubles.
Our first bottle.
Luckily, he's actually really close to Kakariko here, so he can go hand in bottles to stick it immediately. But a blue potion is nice too. Also avoids getting a despawn on the large magic file in that side room. So if you have too many sprites on screen in the previous room, the magic file onto that pot can actually despawn, which is really annoying when it happens and tends to catch a lot of people out because it's so unexpected if you're not prepared.
Yeah, what usually happens is somebody will slash the red Bari, the jellyfish, and turn one sprite into two sprites, adding like this whole extra sprite to the room, and the game just can't handle that many things. So no magic for you.
Hitzian is going straight into Swamp Palace. I like it. There's a lot of items he can grab here. He can also spend quite a bit of unnecessary time on the left side, but we're in bow mode right now. We don't know where that bow is. Could be anywhere, except behind Bowlock stuff, of course. But yeah, there's a huge list of potential locations right now for that bow, and possibly bombers.
Yeah, Hitsin's routing so far really tells me that he wants to not leave any stone unturned. I would expect him to absolutely full clear this dungeon.
So Fear Agent going for the hammer here on Morphula does a lot of damage, maximum amount of damage you can actually do on Morphula. Tricky hitbox though, especially on this boss. So he's got plenty of life and he's got a blue potion, so he should be okay. And gets the job done. So, first crystal for Fear Agent.
My official guess is Mitts in Swamp Palace and Bow on Laser Bridge.
I am thinking Mitts behind. Actually, no, it can't be that. I reckon Mitts in Ice Palace, but in the early chest. No, wait, that's.
No, yeah, it
it's
can't
not
be in there.
Can't get into Desert Palace yet because no Mitts to go into the back way with the mirror and no book to get in the front entrance. So, yeah, let's go Swamp Palace Mitts, why not? Yeah, Idiom also on his way to the back of Skull Woods. In roughly the same, exact same state for Waffler as the Agent was, and I doubt you'll have any trouble either. And Hitzian is checking out the left side immediately of Swamp Palace. He's really committing to the full clear here.
Yeah, so players will typically leave left side for last when they do Swamp on the off chance that they'll be able to skip it entirely. But Hitzian, like I was saying before, he's routing with like a full clear mentality. Like finishing up Thieves Town really tells me he wants to check every single location on the way. So in that case, since he knows already that there is something left side, having found the map, it makes sense to do this first, just in case like the big key is here.
And also dipping into Thieves Town. There wasn't really anything here other than in the first 4 chests here. He may decide to do the clear, but the pedestal is looking pretty. Oh yeah, there's it, the flippers. he may decide to clear it, he may decide to just leave it. So leaving it is probably the best play here.
I think it's definitely gonna leave.
Big Master gets a book from the old man on Death Mountain.
That's nice. They can full clear desert now.
Yes.
Yep, Fairy Agent switches to Mirror.
Big Master doesn't have this in logic himself yet, but it is in logic because we do have the flute, even if no lamp. Oh, there's a mail on top of a spectacle rock. That's not bad. Nice convenient item to get on your way to Tower of Hare. Fear Agent's finally activating that flute, so get your 07s in chat. And Big Master going straight into Tower of Hare, not even checking what the Ether Tablet is. He can't actually grab what's on the Ether Tablet because he only has a Fighter Sword, but he can see what the item is and if he needs to go back there once he does get a Master Sword.
And we have a Firelock Tower of Hare. Luckily, Big Master did pick up his Fire Rod. He'll be able to finish this.
Hitzian taking on Argus now. A little tricky with the Master Sword because he cannot one-shot the little Argyle things floating around him. But if you're careful with your sword, you can do a spin slash on 2 Argyle at once and kill them in one shot. Much better than doing many Argus when you're stuck with only the hammer and no swords. Fortunately for Hitzian, he hasn't picked up any of the rods yet, so he's having to do the slow method of killing Argus. But he gets the job done. And there's the big key, so he has to go back in the dungeon anyway.
Thanks, game.
Fear Agent taking a kind of circuitous route to get back to his mirror portal.
So where are these mids? Pod's looking pretty juicy now. But the whole mountain is in logic with that flute.
And hookshot and hammer. They can't check out the Dark Death Mountain on the east side, but that's about the only thing they can't do. They could even go to Spike Cave, actually. Vision get out his mirror again on preparation for stuff. Have we actually seen a shovel check yet? Because everyone's got shovels.
Yes. Yes, we did see that. I don't know what it was, but I definitely saw it happen.
Nothing relevant at any rate.
And Hitzian has a bow. I don't know. Was that the big chest and swamp? Did we just miss the bow?
I don't know. Chat's not saying anything.
They must have missed it too.
He's on his way to port, so that just suggests he has a bow. Okay. Bow left side swamp. Completely missed
Had it for a while. Okay.
Thank you, chat.
So this is really good news here for Hitzian because finding the bow before going into Eastern means he's going to single dip Eastern, where Big Master and EDM have to double dip.
Gets his ice sword from Sharashashka here. He'll get his cane of Samaya inside the dungeon, and he will be in a really good state for finishing up the seed. The only thing that's preventing him at this point is we don't know the medallions. And Titan Smiths, of course, but good chance they'll be in pod at this point.
Yeah, the Titan Smiths are one of those items where you're just gonna find it. So much stuff in the game is locked by the Titan Smiths. You'll find them. They have to be somewhere.
And the good news is, once you get those Titan Smiths, you don't have to worry about all the other stuff you could do with those Titan Smiths, like, say, East Darkcliff Death Mountain, Hookshot Cave, or the Blacksmith Chain, or lots of... or the Blacksmith Chain, because you're already being Go mode, and you can just go straight to the finish.
Yeah, Mit's Go mode is very, very nice. Of course, Hitzian has also not been to the front of Escape yet to get that Fire Rod. And if he does happen to find Mitz here in Palace of Darkness, it may be a while before he goes there to find the Fire Rod.
Yeah, he will probably just hope to blitz through dungeons and hope to get that Fire Rod on the way. So he may be making extra checks that he doesn't need to do.
And there's Bombos in Spiral Cave. So the only thing we don't know anything about is those Titan Smiths.
That also does confirm the pedestal is fully dead.
Yep, I bet.
Pedestal should be. It's an inanimate stone object. It has no right to life. Medium also going into Swamp Palace, and Free Agent is halfway through. So Bow on the left side Swamp is pretty mean, because a lot of runners, even if they've got items to track down, they like to skip left side Swamp just because it takes a lot of time. The big key being on Argus just incentivizes you to go back into the dungeon and check it, but some runners will still decide, nope, skip this for later.
I think in this particular situation, like with the items that they currently have, skipping left side is the bigger gamble than just doing left side.
Hey, Titan Smiths and pod in the circle room at the back.
Alright, so Hitzian, just that Fire Rod pickup. Well, he has to go back into Eastern. He'll go into Eastern after this, though, for sure.
Yeah, but it could be quite a long time before he gets that Fire Rod. He could do something, say like we have the big key in a nice early spot in Maya. He could waste a lot of time in Maya, for example, now. So we're in no mode, but we're not in go mode yet. Could be a while before that.
On the plus side, Hitzian has also not done Catfish and Pyramid Check yet, so those locations look better to him because with the mirror he can combine them with Front of Escape. So that's a very dense item location for him that he might end up going to. It's not quite as dense as going to Dark Death Mountain, though.
Yeah. I forgot he hadn't done the Front of Escape. Okay, so if he decides to do a Pyramid Check, he could easily put in an Escape. But, Edium is not that far behind. He has got that cane, and he has got that Fire Rod, so all he needs to do is get his bow on the left side of Swamp, and he'll be in a really good state. Unless Bombos is required, which only Big Master has.
And Edium is going left side.
Free Agent is taking on Argus immediately instead of checking the left side first, like Edium is currently doing and Hitzian already did. Big Master is going into Desert, because why not? It's a relatively quick dungeon to go through, and it is a crystal, so probably won't find anything useful here, but maybe a sword, but it's another crystal on the board for him. Alright, Free Agent gets a big key, and hopefully that will draw him back into the dungeon.
Big Master hookshotting the antlion out of its trap, but the trap remains.
Yeah, just kind of.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, just kind of gets clipped out of its own sand trap and sits there stunned and contemplating, what am I doing glitched over here? Idiom gets his bow. Fear Agent is going back in the dungeon, which is great for Fear Agent.
Yeah, there will be 2 items on the left side, so it's really unlikely he's gonna leave those behind.
Be in a bottle for Big Master. And a bug net.
Hitzian opting to skip the vanilla big key chest here in Eastern Palace. It's a kind of a gambly play because like you're basically saying I'm never coming back here if there's an item there. But he is just essentially a couple items from go mode.
He's having a bit of troubles in the dark room at the back here. So you've got to kill the Igor to get the key, small keys that can proceed through, but there's a lot of small tentacle enemies that get in your way. And another Igor if you get off center. He does get through, though. Something else we've missed. Silver arrows. Where were those?
They were on Highly Island.
Ah. I was quite perplexed by how he was managing to one-shot those Igors with a regular bow.
If your agent is continuing the left side, he will find his bow.
Yeah, for the quiet left side swamp, but this is surprisingly decent and relatively quick to do.
Alright, this here is the moment of truth for Hitzian. What do you do now, Hitzian? The play that we know he needs to make is to go front of escape in Pyramid. But that may not be what he chooses to do. He's saving quits, that's a bad sign. This is a really bad sign. Don't do it, Hitzian! Don't go up the mountain. Okay, not going up the mountain? Where are you going?
He's baiting you.
You gotta go check Lumberjack, I guess? No, he's going up the mountain. He just took a weird path. Alright, so bad news for Hitzian. He's going to full clear this mountain out of logic instead of going to front of escape.
Great news for Fear Agent. He's got his silver arrows and he's well on his way to Paladin Eastern.
Yeah, I think as soon as Fear Agent finds the Mitts and the Cane of Samaria, he's just going to pretend he's in go mode from there. Of course, he won't actually be in go mode until we know what 2 medallions are required. But Bombos is one he will pick up on the way, for sure.
I don't think anybody can technically be in go mode really, because we don't know where the lamp is.
Oh, do they need that, though?
No, you don't. And I believe Fear Agent, Idiom, Hitzian can all do dark rooms. I'm not sure about Big Master. Like, some of the dark rooms, especially in the bottom of Maya or the platform room in Total Rock, can be really tricky if you don't know them. And the Big Master is a little less experienced with the randomizer, but so I don't know about his dark room experience. But yeah, if you don't really care about logic and given how many items you've got already, abandon your logic, just go for it. Who needs lamp? We don't need no lamp.
Yeah, dark rooms are some of the most beneficial tricks you can learn in Rando. The lamp is the only reason you need the lamp when you have the fire on is to see yourself in the dark rooms. So being able to skip an entire progression item in a seed can be a big help.
Ichian gets his red mail from Spectacle Rock and finds there's a hard container on on the Ether tablet.
See him picking up his own silver arrows.
Fortunately for Idiom, he does have to go back in the Eastern Palace to finish it. But he does have Arcane, and he knows he's more or less in go mode right now.
Well, he still needs the mitts out of pod, I think.
Oh yeah, he needs the bits. Okay.
So whenever he's ready to go back to Eastern, he'll probably dip into pot as well and get those mitts.
Xian is going into, well, he's not going into Terrorvog, but at least he's going to go into Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave. But no firewalls, no lamp for him. That's got to sting. It's Quake to get inside Terrorvog.
Yeah, it's kind of like bad, but not bad, right? Like if he had the lamp right now, that would just be more locations that he'd be able to check and put off getting his fire rod.
At the same time, he is at the top here, and he won't be able to just like clear out Tower of Hera whilst he's in the area because no fire source. So he's going to have to come back here. I mean, he'd have to do that anyway to go to Gans Tower, but
yeah, I think that's a good thing though for Hitzian because it's not going to be like a big time maker, but he'll be able to go mode that dungeon.
And there's Hitzian's first bottle in Hookshot Cave. Not much other than pieces of heart in the bottle.
Alright, Edium is efficiently bottlenecked. He does decide Palace of Darkness is the play. He might do Eastern Palace first, just to make sure it's not mitts on Armos or something. But Palace of Darkness is a very likely play for him afterwards.
The agent gets bullied quite a bit by the anti-phase on the switch there, and I'm thinking he continues just to have switched to his Cane of Burner and gone through the anti-phase without worrying about damage boosting.
I've never even considered doing that. That's a really good idea. Usually, I mean, it's such a like a tech that most people learn so early in their rando process, right? You don't think about the possibility of not doing it properly.
At the same time, for getting hit by the anti-phase drains your magic a bit, so why not just use the cane if you have it? Luckily, there's not much that's going to be pretty lethal to free agents in the back of Eastern Palace here. He was even able to use the firewall to light up the room at the back and get an easy kill on the Igor for the small key. He could have made it a little bit safer for himself. Just a little bit. Etienne giving us a first look at Paradox Cave. No, there's nothing that can really be in here other than maybe another sword. Actually, pretty rare to see a seed where a bunch of your progression is in the Hype Cave, but not Paradox Cave.
They just switch places. Okay, so Fear Agent finishes up Eastern Palace, and he will go into Pod, and where he will find mitts. With the items he currently has, I fully expect him to just mirror out as soon as he finds the mitts. There's still like the question of bombos being required for him, but like typically in like a large race like this, gambles win the day, right? Like the difference between first and second place could be who stayed in Pod and who didn't. Alright, Hitzian, not finding a whole bunch of stuff on the mountain, has decided that Catfish, Pyramid, and the Front of Escape are the play. Hopefully he does remember to mirror to Front of Escape. I've forgotten that more than once. Hitzian very happy to see the flute.
He's leaving.
He's gonna
Nope, he's baiting us again. So I think the agent's just going to be able to get his Titan's Mitts a little bit before Hitzian here. But hey, Hitzian, he's able to quit.
Did he not do front of escape?
Nope, he just went to check Uncle.
Oh no.
Okay, so I was thinking things were going to be
That's bad.
between VA Agent and Hitzian here, between who getting go mode first, but no, VA Agent is quite a bit
Okay,
ahead
so-
in go mode now.
Fear Agent finds his mitts and says, I don't care what else is in pod. He leaves immediately, not even checking the rupee basement. He knows that there's like a 1 in 3 chance for those 2 dungeons that Bombos will be required. And what are the odds that Bombos should be the last medallion and sitting in the back of pod? So from this point on, I think Fear Agent is just going to be in, effectively like de facto go mode. He's just going to skip every single chest that's not directly on the way.
Yep, and he doesn't need bombers because it's even medallion to get in Misery Mire.
Almost
So-
required.
And VA Agent is fully in Amplus go mode. Wonder
Yeah,
if
but
we'll
he
actually see
doesn't know
now.
that. Like, he hasn't seen the medallion for Turtle Rock quite yet. So we might see him check like a couple chests here or there that you normally wouldn't when you're in like full go mode.
There's got to be some less RNG here because we are hoping for a quite early small key and a big key here in the early portion of Mire to stop us from spending much more time than we need to. So if this chest in the back here and the next chest have a big key and a small key, that is what's called the God Mire. And that's a
Interesting
compass.
hook shot there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the hookshot was for.
Probably just a misclick.
I mean, you can't even hookshot across the gap. You could just decide to be could try and hover over it. I don't think the agent can hover a gap that large, but
I have faith in him.
no matter what you do, red returns to you. Pedestal is red boomerang. And Big Most is taking a good long look at that pedestal and not quite believing his eyes. Actually, I'm not sure.
I
if
know.
Big Most...
I know several runners. They're not like fluent in reading English. Maybe
Yeah,
he'd
but-
have to like look it up or something.
Yeah, I think Big Most doesn't know the English text for the pedestal, so he was probably looking it up. Actually, he is a German runner.
There's Fear Agent's big key. He is going to skip the firewalk side completely. It's kind of interesting because like we know that Fear Agent's a girl, right? But he doesn't know. So every time he doesn't skip that, he doesn't check a location. It's like a little unnerving for him. It's like,
Idiom
oh,
was
God.
just in the outside Mire right now, so he's picked up the Titan's mitts, and yet he's left. What's he looking for?
I'm not sure.
I really am not sure. Perhaps he mismarked it. Perhaps he thought that the medallion to get into Missing Mire was something different than what he has. It's either vanilla medallion, but
I suppose it's also possible that maybe he just doesn't like doing dark rooms. I wouldn't think that from him.
no, I think he's just having a look at Turtle Rock right now, see if he is in go mode. But I don't see, because like if he knows he's in go mode, he can just skip clearing a bunch of Mire.
Yeah, it's just it's a big time sink to come up here to find out whether or not you're in go mode, compared to what Fear Agent's doing, where you just hope you're in go mode. But it's a safer play to be sure.
is Idiom doing?
I don't know.
I am confused now because he could go into Tedrock and clear it.
Missing something? We just don't know it.
Like he has a
You're not
miss.
doing Ice Palace, right? He's doing Ice Palace. I'm confused.
I think
No,
he's
he's
good.
not
What?
going Ice
He's
Palace.
going to get some upgrades.
I'm so confused. This is weird.
I am completely confused too.
Are we sure he has the mitts?
Yeah, because he was in the Maya area, just right outside.
Alright, well,
Yeah,
he's in
it's
go mode, as far as I can tell, so
Yeah, he's just lift up the rock and gone back in again.
just going out of his way to make sure he's in go mode, getting some safeties.
Yeah, he.
Find the arrow upgrade, I think, is the weirdest thing.
Well, the arrow upgrade refills his hours, obviously, and I think he had like 6 hours left. It was either 6 or 16 hours. It tops him up anyway, so he has more hours to go finish
it's
off the
just
rest
like
of the seed with.
you find so many arrows like going through Desert Palace to refill them, and the only place you're going to use them is on like Vitreous, right? And you have silver arrows, so like fewer arrows takes you a lot farther than normal. I don't know. It's a little weird.
Yeah, I guess he just really wants to confirm he was A in go mode and B had safeties before committing to the clear. Costs him a little bit of time, but he's probably thinking, oh, so-and-so probably already did this check first before me, and I'm not going to get in first place, so I might as well just make sure I am completely safe and don't happen to have any accidents along the way.
Better safe than sorry, I suppose.
But we currently have a race going on in here between Fear Agent and Idiom, and they're not that far away from each other, although Idiom still has to go back into Maya.
I don't think Hitsian is too far behind. It's just he really needs to like go to front of escape right after Meyer. If he goes to do Smith sequence or something, I think it might be all she wrote.
He did have the perfect chance to go to the front of escape.
I know. I just I was like, oh, the flute's good enough. Let's leave. It's not crazy though. Like front of escape by itself is like a pretty big time commitment if there's nothing there, right? Like going all the way down to Zelda's cell.
And you know, by design, it's essentially a pendant dungeon, which just needs to give you a pendant for the troubles.
Right. I think he may be a little upset to find out that his go mode is in Sphere 1, though.
Honestly, the last race I come had a hammer in Eastern Palace in the map chest, and nobody found it until about 50 minutes in.
Wow.
So there were plenty of sore comments about that hammer. And the problem was that the hammer also locked, I think it was the fire rod, the bow, and one other item. And all those items were in like really isolated locations, like the big chest in Beestown. So there was a lot of frustration about that hammer. Today's hammer, by comparison, nice and easy.
Throw the bird. Toss it. In the water. Go. Eddie M. Eddie M. Yes! My new best friend. It is confirmed Eddie M does enjoy fun. So Fear Agent headed up here to Turtle Rock. Yeah, he will be very happy to find out that Bombos is not required. Although he wouldn't have been punished too hard because the next thing he would have done is check Death Mountain and find Bombos.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool though to get a seed where you don't have to check anything on the mountain. How often does that happen?
Honestly, I think this is the first time in months I've seen there being nothing in Paradox Cave other than their blue boomerang. And their blue boomerang obviously doesn't help you, so empty Paradox Cave, very rare these days. So Fear Agent, almost exactly an hour in, confirms to himself that he's in go mode.
Yes, very jet seed from Fear Agent's point of view. Assuming we don't get like a terrible big key location, this is probably going to be like a sub 120 time.
Yeah, it's really convenient for Fear Agent because he hasn't been in Tower Area yet, which a couple of our runners have done. So all he just needs to do is go in there, get his crystal, mirror back out, well, come back out, use his mirror portal, and go to Gannon's Tower. So we're also going to have a really quick Gannon's Tower big key guess game. The Big Master he isn't that far behind. He's doing his swamp clear right now, and hopefully for him he will go back and go to the left side to pick up his bow. And then he is pretty much in go mode himself, but I think he will require getting that map. So he will need to go to Palace of Darkness, pick up his Titansmiths there, and Palace of Darkness has a lot of dark rooms, so the Titansmiths are in the room where you don't require the lamp to get to, and the lamp itself is in Maya Shed, so as long as he does the left side and goes to pod after this, he's going to be in a pretty good spot himself.
So Hitzian is approaching a moment of truth here. Where does he go after finishing Meyer? He did find the lamp in Meyer's shed, so now from his point of view, oh, I can do Tower of Hera. That would be the absolute worst thing that could ever happen for him, though.
I think he's going to do Checkable Cave and Agena.
Yeah, these changes make sense. I just mean like the next major area goes to, because he can do Smith Sequence, he can do Ice Palace, he can do the Front of Escape, which is where he needs to go, and he can go back up the mountain to Tower of Hera.
He's actually leaving Agena behind. Must have checked him already. So, did Hitzian skip the Maya Shed? Because, or did he?
No, he got Maya Shed. That was the lane.
Yeah. I'm looking at the wrong tracker here. Yeah, Idiom skipped Maya Shed. So he's currently fumbling through the dark with a cane of burner.
It's weird, though, that he skipped it, though, right? Like, he went out of his way to go refill his arrows. He went to go find out if he's in go mode on Turtle Rock, and he also skips Meyer's shed.
Yeah, I mean, I would have gone in there just to try and find the sword, because, like, going into Meyer's shed and finding a tempered sword would save you a lot of time down the line.
Yeah, Meyer's shed was just so conveniently accessible. You would expect him to do that if he was worried about safeties.
Well,
so Hitzian is doing Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, this could be really good for him.
Mirror.
Just
mirror.
Oh, hey, speaking of tempered sword, Fear Agent has a tempered sword. He is totally set. So I don't think Fear Agent's going to be even doing optional checks now. He even still has that blue potion from that one bottle he's picked up.
Alright, Hitzian has switched to the mirror. This is a good sign. He's doing it. Okay, thank God. No, he's floating! Hitzian, what? Oh, Hitzian.
Oh, he's going
Hitzian. Why do you do this, man?
He's going Ice Palace, and he's going to use that bombers to get through Ice Palace.
That was his second opportunity to do Front of Escape. He's going to last location it now. So it's a very common situation to find the fire rod locked behind bombos in Ice Palace, but unfortunately it's not going to happen today.
I mean, if we think about the Front of Escape being an optional dungeon, I would do that any day of the week over Ice Palace. Ice Palace is icky. And I'm really terrible at the bomb jump in Ice Palace, but it's still an icky dungeon anyway.
Yeah, I think this is just one of those situations where reading the logic, so to speak, is getting Hitzian into trouble.
Well, hey, there's a fourth sword.
He does find a sword. It's nice. It's not going to make this work, but it's nice. But from Hitzian's point of view, it's like, okay, so this led to this, led to this, led to this, led to Ice Palace, you know, when the actual answer was just Sphere 1.
thanks to that super convenient tempered sword on your way through Turtle Rock, this is a dungeon you mostly have to more or less full clear most of the time anyway to get to Trinex. The agent has no problem at all with Trinex, and yep, just has to go to Tower Pair now.
Can we talk about Adium, who is checking Super Bunny and Chucky, even though he knows he's in go mode, and also chose to skip Myers Shed? How unfortunate, right? Like,
yeah, I think he wants a sword. It's just like,
why didn't you check Myers Shed?
Skipping...
If you're checking these, why would you not check Myers Shed? It's unfortunate that Myers Shed had a nice item, and these did not. It feels inconsistent. I don't think he's worried about the dark room though. So finding a lamp wouldn't have been that big a deal for him.
Nah, Idiom is a really experienced runner, just making some strange plays that I want to ask him about. It's here and checking out some hentars in Ice Palace. A unique item is in Thieves Town. This is kind of like a unique item is in Thieves Town is one of those hints you always expect to see, along with some caches in Mimic Cave.
I mean, like cache in Mimic Cave or Piece of Heart and Graveyard Ledge, those are my favorite hints to find. Some of those like kind of out of the way locations that you just don't really want to do, but you kind of have to do them. It's nice to be able to write those off completely.
I'm currently 8 for 8 on chain hints with some caches in Mimic Cave right now. Actually seen a Mimic Cave hint this seed yet, but you know, it could still pop up. Somebody may decide to go into Aga 1 for no reason at all and check it out just for 100% completion.
Please no.
Hitian finds another not really necessary item here in the form of the Fire Shield in Ice Palace. And this is costing him a lot of unfortunate time. Idiom gets his tempered sword from the Chain Shop's room and is probably thinking, I shouldn't have done Hookshot Cave now.
Where was Master Sword?
Swords were... I cannot remember where swords were. Perhaps Jack can help us. One was on Zora, yeah.
Oh, Zora, okay. I was just wondering, because Big Master's still on Fighter Sword.
He is holding on a significant amount of rupees right now, so yeah, he hasn't been to Zora yet, and he hasn't got his Master Sword. Not such a big deal, because like the second sword for him at a very
we'll find that on the way.
Convenient location.
All right, guys, we're gonna talk about it now, but you gotta wait. You gotta wait. As soon as your agent does take down Trolldorn, he will be headed into Gainus Tower. In Gainus Tower, there are 22 chests. One of those 22 chests will have the big key that he needs to finish the game. So get your numbers ready, but don't put them in chat yet.
Wait until the worm dies. Basically, it's just done.
Now is the time. Guess away. Go, chat. Go.
I always go to 19, but I like to see a nice full clear, well, not full clear of Gainus Tower, but a good circuit around it. But I don't risk the tower room on anybody because that's just mean. But, you know, I like Ice Armos. I like to see people kill Ice Armos and get the big key. And if it's number 19 and they've checked out the right side, it's going to be the vanilla chest.
Fear Agent making very good time this seed.
Professor Ranger getting very upset about the fact that it's 22 locations in Gainus Tower, because technically one of the chests is a torch.
They're interchangeable. Semantics.
Well, okay.
It's got
One.
this will be an easy sub 120 time for Fear Agent. Shortest big key guessing game of all time.
I've been like commentating and tracking races for probably a year now, and I've never seen it be won in Ganstar before, even when I've played my own seats.
Fury Agent taking like the weirdest route through this first room in the gauntlet.
Maybe his brain is doing funny things because he's found himself in go mode way earlier than he expects to be. It could definitely be some nerves or excitement on Free Agent's end because there are no finishers in IRC yet. We don't know if anybody is ahead of Free Agent right now.
He ran out of arrows. Luckily, the arrows did not despawn, and he's gonna be fine.
I've seen one time somebody run out of arrows in Ganon's Tower and have to go back out, and they get out the shovel and they start digging for arrows. I've only seen that once, and I wouldn't want to see it again because that is just the most unfortunate thing to happen. Oh no, Hitzian is doing the blacksmith chain with hammer pegs. He's got himself a lot of extra heart containers.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe he forgot that the front of escape was available, or if he's just, resigned to orphan it forever and ever. But at this point, it does seem like it's going to be the very last thing he does.
To preserve his arrows, he's actually using a bit of a fire rod here to get through these Zazaks. Inium is really not that far behind now. He's into 12 here now. He does have to spend some time here clearing out the basement to get that big key so he can ascend.
Yeah, he's not really in a position where he can overtake Fear Agent, but he'll still end up with a nice sub 130 for sure. What do you do, Hitzian? Turtle Rock. All right, let's go.
Oh, Hitzian. And he did find that cane so much earlier than everybody else too. I think he was the one that went straight to Shahswala and Eastern Palace and got that cane and Ice Rod early. Both canes, actually.
Yeah, I think, like, from Hitzian's point of view, like, assuming that he hasn't just forgotten about it, which I don't think is the case, he's working off of this idea that, well, if there is progression in front of escape, I've already lost. So I'm just going to assume there's nothing there.
So, Professor Renzo, one of our, he helped out with tracking early in the race, and many thanks to that. Also, shout outs to our other trackers, Captain MD13 and Oro, who are helping us out today. But yeah, we've just had to check on the personal best for Free Agent, and his personal best time is 1 hour 17 minutes and 11 seconds. Maybe he'll improve it today. That would be wonderful to see.
It's possible. I think it's unlikely, though.
Well, Hitzian is doing Tower of Hero before Tower of Rock. He does have that lamp, so he can actually clear this dungeon. Fear Agent. Okay, so Fear Agent can hover. He does. No! Falls at the last moment. Probably ruined his personal best right there.
The swag hover coming back to bite you. Oh, that's a poke.
So 3 hits to finish off the mold roll 2. Goes up the poke. Checks the chest, finds a cape, because why not?
Could have been Butter Sword.
Alright, Agger 2 for Fear Agent as Ilium is making his way into Gan's tower. Was that a double or triple? It's really hard to tell. That one was a double. Okay, 2-2-2.
So Eddie makes his way into Ganon's tower. He's about 6 minutes behind where Fear Agent was entering the tower, I think.
Yeah. So unless Fear Agent takes a few falls here, Ganon, or some unfortunate deaths, which it can happen if he decides to get a little too close for Ganon's comfort and he gives you a hug, he takes off a lot of your life. Fear Agent, he has picked up Blue Mail. Red Mail was available. One mail was on Spectacle Rock and the other one was in Ice Palace, I believe. But thanks to the swords being pretty convenient for Fear Agent, he's got a fairly easy time with Ganon here if he can avoid the hugs. Doesn't need to do any spin strats on Ganon, just needs to give him a lot of slashes.
Yeah, he went for the 1-in-1 there, unfortunately missing the one cycle from the start. Oh, he's not going to get the one cycle in the second party there.
He could have done if he had like used Decane or Decane to get some extra hits on Ganon, but instead he used a hookshot to get himself some iframes from the fire bats. This is a pretty normal play, but it does mean he gets this extra cycle in.
Oh, Hitzian! No, Hitzian! Hitzian is returning to Palace of Darkness to finish off Helmasaur King.
Ooh, nice dodge glitch there from Fear Agent from the distance. So to see if I can Ganon, he's going to have to... oh, no, he gets another hit in. Okay, he's going to have to relight the torch here.
Yeah, not very favorable positions there from Ganon.
Down goes Big Pig, and assuming Fear Agent makes it across the bridge, he will be the first of our Restream runners to finish.
GG Fear Agent finishing not just first in the Restream, but first overall in our 41-person race.
GG. With that dot done from Fear Agent, Hitzian has unfortunately forfeited from the race.
Yeah, I think he sees Fear Agent finishing with a 118, and he knows he did something wrong.
Eyes on Idiom because he is ascending onto the top of Gan's tower here. He's really not far behind. And he's in mostly the same state as Fear Agent was. He does have an extra heart container, but he's taken quite a lot of hits here. So does have the powder to convert the anti-phase and the spark into the next room. But don't really want to be taking a hit from this big spike here. He does dip into his green potion, so he does have a magic to powder those anti-phase.
Edium takes down Moldorm 2. And we welcome Fear Agent to the voice chat. How you doing? GG.
Yeah, I'm actually doing pretty good, surprisingly.
Surprisingly, you finished first overall.
Yeah, that worked out.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Apparently not going to the mountain was a play.
Definitely.
We saw a couple people go to the mountain and it was completely devoid of items. I think the best there was a blue boomerang.
Yeah, it comes down for me like a couple decisions. Like when we got Dark World access at Ice Rock Cave and we had the hook shot hammer and stuff, I thought, okay, maybe I'll go up to the mountain. Just sequence break the mountain, because that seems like a decent play. And I didn't. I can't remember exactly why. Oh, I wanted to do Hype Cave, and then I got Flute and Mirror, and I was like, well, let's just go with it. And so I just walked from Hype Cave all the way back around until I got to Swamp. And then Swamp had the bow, and the rest is history.
Yeah, definitely a pretty jet seed from your point of view. I think some of our other runners would disagree.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't open a single item on the mountain.
Yeah. The big play here was getting Pyramid on the Pyramid, or sorry, getting Flute on the Pyramid, and then Fire Rod in front of Escape.
Yeah.
Which with the early Dark World access from Ice Rock Cave, a lot of players put those off for a long time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can figure that. I pretty much always route Pyramid in just because it bites me so often that it just usually my usual route is Red Cave to Catfish.
Yeah, I do the exact same thing, honestly.
I like it. I mean, it doesn't always work out, and sometimes it loses you a little bit of time, but having the boots really makes it quick. And then the way I routed, I literally was like, I'm just going to do everything I can as I go through this stuff. And, got flippers in the front of Leestown, checked back of Escape, and all the bump rock checks. So, yeah. I didn't think I was going to win. I felt like I did too much, but apparently I didn't.
No, I thought you did about what I would expect from a typical riding through the game. Like with the flippers in the front of Leestown really kept you from skipping more stuff.
Yeah, the flippers were huge because if I didn't find those, obviously I was going to go up to the mountain after I did those checks. But since I could just route down, since I do Hype Cave to Catfish, I still have Stumpy and all that other stuff. So I can just route down right to Swamp. And then I'll tell you this much. If there was 2 items on the left side of Swamp, I was probably going to skip it.
Just to interrupt there, Idiom was on the last phase of Ganon and took a dip at the same time as falling into the pit, so he has to start again. So unfortunate for him.
Yeah, he got a little too aggressive there. He thought he had the third arrow hit and thought the fight would end, but then Ganon kept teleporting, and he got there just a little too late, taking a hit from that fire bat.
Also, Revolving Oscillator, what's up, man? I haven't talked to you in a while. Good to see you doing comms.
Thank you. I've been getting back into the commentary and tracking this week, and I've had a lot of great races I've been witness to this week. Really fun.
Good.
Great to see you come in first place.
Yeah, I'm going to dedicate this run to my homie Revolving Oscillator.
Honestly, I am super hyped for the next league, man.
Oh, me too. Yep, it's coming. I'm really disappointed I failed that hover too, by the way. That cost me a
You
little
got to the last square and then fell down. And I say that as I'd probably failed at your personal best getting that, because you were really close to your PB time.
Yeah, my PB is like 117 something. I shouldn't. I got greedy. What can I say? I was like a pixel away.
It's all about swag. It's all about that swag.
I mean, even with the attempted swag, he came in first place. So.
It'd be one thing if I missed it right away or halfway through, but I was at the edge. That was disappointing.
I was almost wondering if you were going to go hover in Maya too, because you did a weird hook shot to the south when you were about to get to just. Oh no! Idiom takes another fall to Ganon.
It's the exact same situation. Just gotta calm down, Idiom. That's it. That's all that has to happen. Just calm down a little bit. Do what you know you can do. Play your game.
This has been a really good weekend for me. I won the weekly yesterday, the standard weekly, and now I win the open weekly, so it feels pretty good.
Racking up those wins. Idiom is playing so aggressively. He's taking trident hits. He doesn't have any more safeties because he dipped into that blue potion on his last try. He's treating Firebats a bit more carefully this time.
And Idiom does not have the lamp, so he does want to be a little careful with his magic here, in case he like misses the torch glitch with the fire rod. He'll need extra fire rod shots to finish the fight.
Yeah, where was the lamp?
Mire Shed. It's actually kind of funny because Idiom was like checking out the Maya medallion and went off to Turtle Rock to check out that medallion and confirm his go mode before going back to Maya, but he never actually went in the shed. He went to like Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave, but not the shed.
Yeah, I debated how much I wanted to open looking for a sword, and then it was just gifted to me, so that felt pretty good.
Oh yeah, that Bomber's medallion, in case it was needed, it was on the mountain anyway.
Oh, it figures.
Oh, Idiom doesn't get a torch glitch.
This is fine. He has enough fire rod shots to finish the fight. He just can't miss any silver arrows. Okay, we're good. We're good. Everything's fine. No need to worry.
Alright, he makes it across the bridge.
GG.
No more aggressive play if he trying to get across the bridge too early, but yeah. Idiom finishes in 6th place overall with an official SRL time of 1 hour 27 minutes and 4 seconds. So GG to Idiom. And as for other finishers in the race, we have had Coride come in 2nd place, Gus in 3rd place, Shire in 4th, P-Train 24 in 5th, and Idiom in 6th, with Loose 24 finishing in 7th place, just a couple seconds after Idiom.
.105 collection rate. That's pretty low.
That's pretty low. Pretty low. This is a jettiest of jet seeds.
And we go back to Big Master here, and he's now doing his Turtle Rock clear. He can finish the dungeon, but he still needs to get a flute from Pyramid. Making good use of that bug net, actually, to catch an extra fairy.
He is running out of locations, though. He can still like go into Ice Palace, finish up Thieves Town and Pod. But I think, assuming that he's looking at the IRC, seeing all those really early finishes, he'll check something easier to get to, like Catfish first.
Idiom will be joining us for an interview shortly. Oh, and here he is.
Hello.
GG.
GG's. Great job on the win, Fear. Wow.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, I felt like I was doing pretty well. I didn't think I would necessarily win, but I felt like my routing worked quite well. Fear, I imagine you probably had a similar route to me, just without 2 Ganon deaths.
I'm not sure. I never went to the mountain. I never went to the mountain at all.
I never did either. I checked Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave before Turtle Rock, just looking for a tempered sword. But besides that, I didn't touch the mountain at all. Yeah, this was a really I got everything for Turtle Rock early, and then there was nothing in Turtle Rock. That was really surprising.
Yeah, I think like looking at you two guys, like the main difference between you was like the Ganon deaths. The Ganon deaths by far cost you the most amount of time. But the other things you did differently was when you had go mode, you went to go make sure it was go mode. You went up to Turtle Rock first.
Yeah.
And made sure it was go mode before you did anything. And that definitely cost you a bit of time because Fear Agent just assumed he was in go mode. And
yeah, I mean, if it was only one dungeon that I didn't know, I'd probably. Well, I don't know. I guess I just didn't want to play it too risky. I don't know.
Yeah, you went for the safe is better than sorry strat for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was already gambling a bit, mirroring out of pod right after the Mets. But I didn't want to check the rest of the pod, especially with no lamp. It's just so slow.
The lamp was actually in Meyer's shed. We
Oh,
thought it was a little weird that you checked Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny, but did not check Meyer's shed. The lamp wouldn't have been like a big deal or anything, but just a little unusual.
yeah, well, I was planning to come right back to that area. I guess, I don't know, Hookshot Cave has 4 items versus 2 items in my shed, so that's kind of why I did that. I don't know. I didn't even think of Meyer Shed, actually.
Yeah, in the long run, it wasn't going to make a big difference or anything.
Yeah, that Ganon fight was frustrating. The first one, I actually got kind of lucky there because I fell, but then I was like under Ganon, so he killed me while I was falling, and that let me get in the fight faster.
Yeah, it's from our point of view. It just looked like you were being just a little too aggressive in the last phase, and the fire bats were punishing you.
Yeah, both deaths were when I was on my last arrow as well, which super frustrating. But it only actually cost me 1 place out of like 40 or so runners, which was surprising. I thought I would lose several places for that.
On the whole, though, I think your routing worked out like fantastically, right?
Yeah.
Like everything just kind of lined up and made the seeds so nice and jet-like.
Yeah, of course you had to go in the right ways in order for that to work out. Like you had to get that flute early, because if you didn't get the flute early, I don't think it locked anything. I guess logically it locked the lamp, but other than that, it didn't lock anything. So you didn't really. You could have. I imagine a lot of people spend a lot of time looking for that.
Yeah, actually, our last restream runner still going right now is Big Master, and he is looking for that flute right now.
Oof.
Yeah, it turned out the flute and the fire rod ended up being like the big difference-making plays.
Where's the fire rod? That was
Front of
Escape, right?
Yeah, with that early Dark World access from Ice Rod Cave, a lot of players ended up not going there for a long time.
Yeah, so I was lucky I did that before I did South Shore, or I might have been in the same boat. Which, I guess the reason I did that is kind of silly. I didn't want to. I only had 6 bombs, and I forgot I had the hammer, but even the hammer kind of sucks for mini Moldorm Cave, so I was like, I'll just do Escape first, because that's easier. And hope I get more bombs or something, or like a sword from mini Moldorm Cave. So that's the only reason I put off South Shore.
Big Master having a little trouble here on Laser Bridge. There are strategies that you can use with or without the boots to do this, but he may not be privy to them.
He's got that small key now, but he's just checking last chest because there were no item remaining.
Yeah, it's all, where's that flute? Give me that flute.
We are treated to his really, really fast to low health warning. The trick of laser bridge is that the hitbox of the laser is only at the front of the laser. Although it's like a really big projectile when it's moving, when you like pause the game, you actually see it's like the laser itself is really small, so you can kind of sneak through the back of it and avoid getting hit that way.
I'm glad I got to go mode Turtle Rock, and the keys worked out, so I got to skip Laser Bridge entirely. That's always nice.
Big Master is still looking for that flute, which was on the pyramid. He has got his firewood from the front escape. He doesn't have his silver arrows from Lake Hylia, but he could probably grab those at the same time as getting the flute when he checks out the East Dark World. So he's not in a bad spot overall.
Unfortunately, like given the items he has and what he has left to do in the game, I don't think he's going to go there next. Like he has the rest of Thieves Town he can do. He can finish up Pod. He can do all of Ice Palace. He can do all the flipper checks. The only thing that might draw him over there is if he tries to combine Catfish with the flipper checks, in which case he would go through Pyramid up to Catfish.
Alright, I'm gonna hop out. Thanks to you guys for commentating, and thanks to the trackers.
Our pleasure.
And thank you to Edium for giving us a great race, along with Free Agent.
Yeah, have a good day.
I'm gonna bail out too. Thanks Koi and Revolving Ocelot and Trackers. That was pretty fun.
He says first place finisher.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. I'd give it 4.5
GG
stars
once again,
out of 5. Thanks for following. All right, see you guys.
All right, Big Master, where are we going? Starting at Sanctuary, I would say this is a bad sign.
Yeah, he's probably going to go to finish off his
Thieves.
pendant dungeon stuff, starting with Thieves Town. It's possible he could be like decide to go to all the remaining overworld stuff like the blacksmith chain before going to pendant dungeons again. This would be good because all his remaining items are in the overworld. Whilst we were watching Big Master finish, we have had quite a lot of other finishes in the IRC channel for this race. In 8th place, we have had Village J. Bradley. In 9th, we've had Gannon's Gone Wild. 10th place, Raylan Tangier. Big Dunker in 11th place. Sodastone in 12th. Bruce Fan JP in 13th. 8 Sexy Jedders in 14th. Lin in 15th, Mr. Paws in 16th, and Slowpoke 316 in 17th. Actually had a couple people improve their personal bests too. I believe 8XE Jedders improved their personal best by 26 seconds with a official time of 1 hour 35.48 seconds. And Slowpoke 316 improved their time by 11 minutes 45 for a time of 1 hour 38.54.
Not surprising with how like nice this seat really was.
Oh yeah, absolutely a jet seat. Like as long as you make the right set of checks, it's very possible to get to. It's very possible to make the wrong set of checks here. Like fortunately for Hitzian, he skipped out on front of escape, and that just kind of had him going all over the place. Which is why he chose to forfeit, because once he saw the finish, he knew he missed something like really in a really silly spot, and decided to this is bad for me, I'm just going to take the forfeit and be done with it. And I can't fault him for that, so GG to Hitzian. But yeah, if you made the right choices in the seed, you can route this really, really quickly, which was definitely to Free Agent's benefit here.
Yeah, it feels kind of bad when you see somebody finish and you're not even in go mode yet. Very frustrating. So I think it's very likely Big Master is probably going to do Smith sequence checks following Thief's Time. It's just like on the way.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's going to go to Catfish after. Well, Pyramid, but you know, like the intention is to go to Catfish, and Pyramid's on the way.
Yeah, and Paths of Darkness and Myth and Ice Palace are kind of like if he wants to get to those dungeons, he's got his overworld attacks pretty close to those dungeons, and he's much more likely to go there rather than going straight into the dungeons. Plus, the dungeons themselves are pretty lengthy to get through, so he should hopefully go over to those, get that flute and silver arrows before going in the dungeons.
I know a lot of runners like to hide the IRC chat while they're in the middle of a race, so they don't get distracted by other people finishing. But if Big Master does have it open, all those early finishes would surely tell him that it's probably not Ice Palace and Backup Pod. No blind script from Big Master, but he's got plenty of equipment to do this.
Blind script essentially being a set of movements you can do to always ensure you get your hits in blind and take 0 damage. Because when you first start a blind fight, he always starts in the same position and always does the same set of like movements and where the fireballs go. So if you stay on the so-called script, as it were, you get a really clean and quick kill, and you don't take any damage in the process. But it is pretty precise to do, and I'm terrible at it mostly. So I usually just like fumble through. As long as I get to kill blind before he goes through the bottom of the room, I'm usually good. There's a number of strategies you can do in blind, actually. If you were feeling particularly lazy, you can just activate the Cane of Burner and just to go walk into him and kill him off that way.
Yeah, with half magic, you could even have the cane activated the entire fight. Oh, looks like Big Master skipped the brewery when he was here earlier.
Yeah, I guess he hasn't done much for Dark World Overworld yet, so looks like he's got quite a bit to clear out still.
The way he moved, it just made me look like, oh, what? I skipped this? Oh my gosh. Just 3 bombs and hammer pegs. That's not a flute.
We've had a rush of other finishes suddenly coming in the last couple of minutes. Amrith in 18th place, David 10001 in 19th place, Rave is 10 in 20th, Gamey Carol in 21st, Zelga Distant in 22nd place. And this was the weekly race today was a really large weekly race. I think we had about 38 entrants total, so there's still plenty of people left to finish. Big Master is still doing pretty well, all things considered, and as long as he just gets over to as long as he commits to these overall the Dark World checks and gets that food from the pyramid, and preferably silver arrows from the Lake Hylia Islands too, he should be good. Okay, so he's done like Stumpy and K45, so he has done some stuff here. And he would have had to get the stuff from Hype Cave anyway, so to like the hook shot, so...
The efficient full clear route here would be to maintain his Dark World portal and go check Lake Hylia Island, re-enter the Dark World mirror again, do Hopo, re-enter the portal again, and then go up to Pyramid. But if he gets distracted by Ice Palace, oh no.
I mean, Ice Palace is certainly a potential distraction. Hitchan did go down there and kill Goldstead, looking for that fire rod. Oh, we get to see Womba's tablet too. Either tablet had a heart container. And Bombers is just a lesser heart.
No, go back in the portal. Oh. Big Master, why? This looks like an Ice Palace play. Oh, nope, changing his mind, he's going up.
Inflating those bonk statistics. Yeah, he is going back to the Dark World.
Okay. As a little weird, says he abandoned his portal up there, he didn't need to do that.
I mean, normally when you go and check like Bomber's tablets, unless you're like thinking, yeah, I should go check out Lake Hylia immediately, you often just flute away or just leave it and go somewhere else. So I have to see where Big Master goes from here.
North, go north, go north.
Yeah, he's going north.
Yes! Alright. Continue north.
I don't remember how comfortable Big Master is with Master Sword spins on Ganon, so hopefully he goes so. He can get that Tempered Sword from Tidal Rock, but... no,
that was his Master Sword.
Yeah, that was his Master Sword. Hang on.
Butter was in Ice Palace.
Yeah, there's a third sword in Ice Palace, and well, fourth sword actually, because Hitchan was the last one to grab a sword.
Yeah, so this flute is go mode for Big Master, and he will not be getting the Tempered Sword tonight, I don't think.
So there's a sword on Sora, anyway. A sword on Ice Palace, a sword in Turtle Rock. Where was the last one again?
Which ones did you say?
So there was a sword on Sora, which was like typically the first sword that most runners got.
No, that was everyone's second sword. I forget what the first sword was, but that's the one that Big Master got. He's missing the Zora sword and the Ice Palace sword.
That is one he's missing because he's got loads of cash right now.
Maybe Mini Molar Cave? I don't remember.
So he is missing out on that Tempered Sword and the Silver Arrow, so he is going to have to do like full Master Sword spins on Ganon at this with his current inventory.
Trying to activate his mirror. Not working out so well. There we go.
Just checking his borders quickly, see if he's got enough to get him through the rest of the seed.
Yeah, he'll go refill his potions before doing this Master Sword Vitreous fight for sure.
Maybe go up to Sora and get his last sword.
That's unlikely.
Okay, well, he's fluting to mine now. And he should grab his lamp here with any luck from the shed.
Yeah, I think even if he like is really uncomfortable with the Master Sword Silverless fight on Ganon, the assumption would be that he just finds a sword on the way. Unfortunately, we know that won't be the case. And not getting the lamp out of Meyer Shed, unfortunately.
Yeah, I really don't remember how big Master is with the dark rooms. And
Well, he
Mario
did
dark.
the sort of rock dark room, so I imagine he's practiced in all of them.
I guess, but like I think Maya dark room is probably the hardest dark room of them all because it's mostly because of that first room. If you don't know like the exact placement of where you have to put the Cane of Smile block, you can get really like out of sync with where you think you are in the room.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the trickier ones. I like to think that the turtle room in Pod is more difficult, but this one is probably the trickiest to learn.
Yeah, turtle room in Pod is quite nasty. There's like exact movements you can do because the turtles always start in the fixed position and they kind of like fixate on your position and always go chasing after you. So if you're capped with where you walk and where you use a hammer, you can kill them all in like a scripted pattern, but I'm not quite familiar with that pattern myself. But you can also like circumvent the turtle room a bit if you have the fire or the lamp because well, I mean if you had the lamp you could light up those you could see in the rooms anyway. But if you had the fire rod, you can light the torches and see what you're doing.
So the fire rodless strat for turtle room for me is with my sword held out, I walk in the room, take a couple steps, hammer, diagonal to the left and down a little bit, hammer again, let go of B to do the spin, cast Bombos or Ether, and hope for the best. Like 10% of the time, it works every time.
Ether is underappreciated, really. Like so often you can like if you're in a dark room like that, you can just use a medallion to finish off all the enemies, no problem. And people often don't do that because it's quite a lengthy animation. But if despite the lengthy animation, it can still save you some time.
Yeah, compared to trying to hammer turtles in the dark, I think medallions are pretty pro.
Alright, the big key was in the I think it was in the vanilla chest actually. No, the vanilla chest is the one locked by the cutscene. The
Lobby chest.
the chest is the one blocked by the crystal blocks. That's where the big key was. But Big Master is heading for cutscene anyway. What was the name of that one chest?
The lobby?
Lobby chest, right.
I think it's like the map chest or something. I don't really know.
It's definitely an item in the vanilla game. I think, yeah, it's probably map or compass. That's interesting. I've never actually seen anybody fall down the pits there. So those pits are totally black and like normally in Link to the Past, a totally black pit like that, if you fall down it, you just get sent back to the entrance. But that one actually puts you in the room below. I never knew that. It makes sense because like the pit in the next room is also totally black, but falling down it just puts you in the room below. In fact, I remember that actually throwing me off as a kid going through Link to the Past for the first time because I went into that room and it was like, there's a pit here, but I can't fall down this pit to get into the room below, so I'm going to go walk out of this room and go elsewhere in the dungeon and get really lost and confused.
Yeah, I suppose it's just an oversight on the developer's part. And there's our big key for Big Master. This is a pretty rough fight he has coming up here.
He hasn't got much magic. We have no idea where half magic was in this seed. It's probably lurking in Ganon's tower somewhere. But he
Yeah, he'll
has
refill
he's
his
only got a
magic right
Master
here.
Sword, so killing the little eyeballs is going to take a lot of time. Hasn't got many arrows, so he's probably going to save all his arrows for the big eyeball. He does have a green potion, if I remember correctly, so he can just like use cape strats for a good portion of time and just go dashing through the little eyeballs with the cape and boots, and refill his magic with the green potion halfway through.
And he throws the block from the bottom wall, one of the easier ways to get through that room.
And the fireball spewing block here that activates when you have your sword out makes a convenient point of reference in this particular room.
Oh, it looks like he went down the wrong path. There we go. That's a good path. It looks like he's a little too high. He's on the conveyor, as you can see the block
Yeah.
moving. Not taking any chances. He's going to drink one of his potions now. Yeah, ideally, this the Medusa statue that's firing left and right, you want to be below that. Yeah, I don't know why he has the fast beeps on him.
Okay, he's nearly through. Just has to get past the anti-phase here. And there we go. But difficulty's not over for him yet. Tries to powder the sparks there and gets turned into a fire Luigi for his trouble.
You can powder bunny beams to get fairies, but only before they start moving. But there's another anti-fairy in this next room he'll be able to grab for sure.
Unfortunately, he's used that blue potion a bit earlier than he would have liked to really use it. Because, like, I think activating the cape here and dashing through, you don't really want to use Cape of Burner here, because instead you'll find the Cape of Burner hits the eyeballs instead. And the Cape of Burner does very little damage.
Yeah, the Cane of Burner strats is usually to dash, because your dash would overwrite the Burner damage.
And it's even easier with a cape, because no lag. But Big Master's just going for the strat I think I did long ago, which is to get in the corner and spam slash. You get hit by the lightning a couple times, but you can tank it a bit. 8 shots to the big eyeball will finish it off. And there we go.
And that is Big Master's 7th crystal. Unfortunately, he's still on Master's on Silver List, so he has a tough road ahead of him. He'll probably go refill his potions before heading up to the mountain. Maybe even check Meyer Shed now. Switches to the boomerang. Okay. I don't know why.
Okay, so he's looking for a sword here. He's going to get his lamp instead, and he's probably going to be kicking himself.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. But lamp is actually a really great item for him to find, because Fire Rod only, no half magic, Master Sword Silverless. No thanks.
He's still checking items, so he's looking for a sword and silver arrows still, probably. Or maybe he just wanted to check it quickly.
Goes to Link's house. For what?
Pyramid Ferry or Lake Hylia, probably. Like,
Well,
he'll
Lake
definitely
Hylia
get,
would be really helpful for him if he does choose to do that.
like, I'm pretty sure he wants some additional help to get through Ganon's tower and Ganon. So he's looking for a sword or silver arrows, and he's going to stock up on potions too before going into GT. Oh, he's going south, so he's going to get his silver arrows here. Again, probably going to be kicking himself for not doing this before Mario.
I
But,
wonder if
better
he
late than
knew
never.
they were here. He might have known they were here. Like, I think he was one of our runners to go into Eastern early. But if he didn't know they were there, I don't know why he wouldn't have grabbed them before going to Vitreous. Maybe, only just now remembered.
Yeah, particularly when you spend a long time in the race, it's easy to forget things you've already checked if you're not taking vigilant notes or you don't have a tracker that is capable of recording those details. He is on his way to Ganon's tower now.
You know, it's such a quick big key in Ganon's tower. I'm afraid he might try opening more chests in the basement before going up.
He could go forward left too before going right.
The madman's route.
I don't think I've seen anybody go forward left in ages.
Yeah, with the
Like, I read
popularity of the Hope route, full left it's very much diminished in value.
When I first started getting into Rando, it was pretty popular at the time. This was about a year and a half ago. Oh, he is... he's just using a mirror to give himself some buffer frames to get past the Lionel here. But yeah, it used to be quite popular just going left side, and going right side was kind of dismissed as Dark Magician strats, even though it wasn't Dark Magician, that being something completely different, of course. That is to go partially left and then go right.
Well, he is headed to the left side first.
And even in this case, Dark Magician wouldn't be totally bad.
Oh, the single arrow. Thanks, game. He's killing the Stalfos, which does tell me he plans to continue down the left side.
Yeah, he's just really looking for a sword at this point. Fortunately, he's not going to get one here. Looking sword being totally optional, but also really useful is quite rare.
He may end up finding half magic though. That would be pretty nice to find.
It would definitely help him for the upper floors. He hasn't got many hours.
Oh, half magic was on green pendant. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Another 300 rupees. Big Master has over 1,500 rupees at this point.
And he's gonna continue full left. Oh my gosh. So when we talk about like the routing strategy for getting to the Big Key and Ganis Tower, like comparing one route to another really doesn't make a difference. Like because the Big Key can literally just be anywhere, and the key logic isn't helpful in finding out where the Big Key is. But in a more metagamey sense, when you're racing other people, you pretty much assume that everyone's going to do the more popular routes, which is the Hope Room route, where you check the Hope Room and then go full left, or Dark Magician, where you check Stalfos Room and then go full right. And because the Hope route is so popular, it makes going full left, which is just the Hope route except the Hope Room, much less valuable.
Okay, Shire reminds me where the other sword was. It was in Dam. So one sword on Zora, one sword on Dam, one in Turtle Rock, and one in Ice Palace. Ice Palace sword actually not being too far down. It was in the like the first chest with the pen gators. Near the
Yeah,
top.
in the compass chest. Big Master switches to Kane, prepared to go to Compass Room. Instead, finds a Big Key.
Takes a less excitable route to the Spike Room than Fear Agent did much earlier. He doesn't have too many silver arrows, but he's using a few to get through the. He has to use a few to get through the mimics here, or to give them their actual name, Gorias, I believe it is. But he may
What?
choose to. Goria, like G-O-R-I-I-Y-A. Yeah, the mimics.
Yeah.
But they have an official name. The official name isn't actually mimic.
Yeah, I think some enemies we use their like Japanese names, but mimics are not one of them. Or like I think the fire bar, like what we typically call a fire bar, is actually called like the Guru bar.
Ooh, Big Master grabs both fairies. I think he probably would have wanted to net one fairy, but oh well. Don't let his arrows despawn. He's just leaving them behind. I would have grabbed his arrows and gone for more arrow kills here. Because these Sazaks do not die in one hit from just a Master Sword. And getting multiple hits on them across these rooms of the conveyor belts and ice is annoying. That's why they call this a gauntlet, because it's a gauntlet is designed to chip away at your health and make you run low on supplies.
He gets through it mostly unscathed.
Just choose to power the anti-pay here. It's changes the land modus pattern. The The way the landmines work in this room is that it's based on how quickly you get through the previous room. So if you stop to powder the anti-fay, the points where the landmines emerge from becomes different. Getting through these reserve rooms with no problem. If you're not used to getting through the gauntlets with the Cane of Samaria there, it can actually be quite difficult to kill the reserves in that previous room because the conveyor belt will throw off your Samaria block placement.
Ether and Quake become very valuable when you don't know those strats.
Okay, Big Master waits for a couple of seconds for the torches to reset in the previous room. That is like the other big trap in the top of Ganon's tower here. If you go up the stairs at the same time as the door in the previous room closes from the torch going out, you despawn everything in the top of the tower here, so there will be no enemies to kill, nothing at all. That means there's no Moldorm 2 to kill. With no Moldorm 2 to kill, you cannot get across the gap with the hookshot because the chest can't spawn. And even if you hover across the gap, Aga 2 won't be in top, so you won't be able to finish the dungeon, and your only option is to save and crit.
Yeah, we call that the jingle glitch. It's the kind of thing that you see one time and you never see it ever again. It's such a disastrous glitch to encounter.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have been witness to it before by a few runners, and they have committed to never doing it again. But it's like one of those things you don't think about until you've done it once, and then you never do it again because it's so horrible when it happens.
Big Master did poke Moldorm here, so if he does another hammer hit, well, I think he gets knocked off. You have to reset.
Moldorm takes a poke back at him. Oh, I didn't think that last hit would connect. But he gets it down.
Cape is definitely a nice pickup when you're about to do Master Sword Ganon.
I mean,
I'm
in a
not
different.
sure. He still has like a blue potion, doesn't he?
He used that back in Maya when he was getting through the dark rooms.
Oh, I
Might
thought he
have
had more than
potion left. But yeah, if you're like going through in say a different seas where you're just doing Ganon with Master Sword and no silvers, that cape could make a lot of difference there. And a lot of people do skip that chest if they're in go mode because you're in go mode, getting that chest costs you a second that might get you ahead of your other racer. But it's having the capable items is like a real game changer there. If the seed was slightly different.
Down goes Aga 2.
Yeah, pretty clean.
Yeah, Big Master's in for a rough fight here on Ganon. With the Master Sword, he has to do 12 spins in the first phase, 12 spins in the second phase, 4 spins in the third phase. And luckily he does have silver, so he won't have to do the 24 spins in the fourth phase. But Ganon hits like a truck. Oh, he does have blue. Oh, 2 blues. Nice.
Yeah, he has 3 bottles. Okay.
Yeah, definitely expect to see some cape strats here. Probably let go of B. Whoops.
Rogue's Ganon there. Doesn't do any damage.
Fine. It's a very long fight with the Master Sword. Hit number 7. Almost locks into him.
Gets chunked by the trident there.
I think we're at 10 hits. Oh, don't stop him in the middle of the Don't do that.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's this weird thing where, like, if you're in the path of the trident, it causes Ganon to stop teleporting partway through.
So like Vincent, I've been keeping track of Randomizer for about a year and a half now, and I started playing it a couple months ago myself. I haven't been streaming it for, but I've never seen Ganon stop in the middle like that. Still new stuff about the game and the Randomizer you see so often.
I'm sure you've probably seen him stop like too high on like the bottom left. That's usually where you see it happen. Is like if he's going to the bottom left, but you get in the way of the trident, he'll stop like a little early in this really weird position where you can't get doubles.
Fortunately, Ganon's positioning there, hookshotting back and forth between the torches, still lets him take a hit from fire bats because fire bats were right on top of the torch. But he dips into one of his blue potions and is going back to spins. Okay, he's got through phase 2 now. So as long as he doesn't take a bunch of falls now, he should be good. He's still got to do spins on Ganon, but once he's got Ganon into his blue thunderball phase, he's got the silver arrows handy. Practicing Ganon swordless, well, not swordless, but Master Sword spins on is something I'm doing myself, practicing. I can get through the most of the fight without taking any damage myself, but I kind of lose patience in the last phase and do something stupid, like take a hug.
Oh, he lit those torches so far apart, he's only going to be able to get one stop of Ganon.
Ooh, that's so dangerous. That is something I've taken the fall to myself. Oh, he's a little too slow for bow there. This is his chance.
You want to light the torches as close together as you can to give you more time in the Ganon is vulnerable phase. I think he's too far away to get hit here. Yep.
Okay, this looks good for a single hit. There we go. 2 more. Fortunately, depending on where Ganon's position is, if he's up against the edge of a platform like that, so he can only get a single hit in. If he can kind of like sneak his way between Ganon and the edge of the platform, hit Ganon and send him into his blue state without falling off yourself, you can get up to 3 hits on him. Okay, there's one more single for Big Master, and he finally gets Ganon down. Quite a bit behind Fear Agent and Idiom, who put up really impressive times, but he gets the job done, and he is going to finish his face in a couple of seconds. So, GG's for Big Master, who finishes in 36th place with an official time of 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 28 seconds.
I believe somebody said earlier that he wasn't fluent in English, so I don't know if we're going to get an interview.
Yeah, I don't think he does interviews because he cannot speak English, but he is a German runner, and
I've known a lot of foreign runners who can speak it just fine, just have trouble with the reading part.
English is kind of a difficult language to learn as a second language. It's got a lot of annoying parts to it.
I don't know. It wasn't really that easy as a first language either.
I can't remember back that long.
All right, Raylan confirms that he only speaks German, so we will not get an interview today. Well, GG's to Big Master, all the same. Good on him for finishing that race. You know, it's really frustrating when you see people finish so early and you're so far behind. But you know, that the tenacity to just finish it anyway. I love that. I think with no one to talk to, we're gonna wrap it up, don't we?
Yeah, pretty much. So if you want to follow our runners, I've got links in chat for you to check them out. So Fear Agent does a lot of other stuff. Like, for instance, we were talking about this a little while back. He, a few months ago, was running the Link to the Past League, which had its inaugural season this year. And I did a bunch of work for that myself. And he will be starting season 2, I believe, in early 2020. So do check that out when the time comes. EDM and Hitstian do plenty of Link to the Past randomizer races themselves. They are really good runners, so check them out too. And if you want to give Big Master a follow for sticking it out with him, please do give him a follow too. He runs plenty of rando, and he's obviously got a ways to go, but he is improving. And the only thing he can do with rando to get better is, of course, practice and get more knowledge. All those things help. So shout outs to all of our runners here. Shout outs to our trackers too. We had Professor Vendra helping early on for a little bit, and then we had Captain MD13 take over, and also Oro tracking for us tonight. So thanks to them too. And I've got their links in chat too if you want to give them a follow. Also,
we commentated.
Yeah, we did.
I remember that.
Follow us too if you like. I am not streaming Links to Past Rando yet, but I probably will in like a few months' time. I got to get better myself. Rando is such a fun game.
Times. It's a fun game, yeah. I play it every now and then.
But yeah, thank you for checking out the weekly race tonight. We have got more daily races tomorrow, and on the schedule tonight, which I'll just open up shortly. We've got a Final Fantasy PSP tournament going on Speed Gaming 1 right now. Later on here on Speed Gaming 2, we have got the Mega Man 2 Randomizer tournament happening, so do check those out. They are quite good fun. Otherwise, thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you in the next race.
Yes, it's been a pleasure coming with you, Captain. Not Captain. Why did I say Captain? You're not Captain.
Ocelot.
Revolving Ocelot! I saw Captain's name in chat. It distracted me. But that's going to be it for us, guys. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you later.